the NYX Macaron video. So this is going to be a swatch video, so you can see what all the lipsticks I have look like on, and it's also an application video, so I'll explain the best way to apply it and the couple of different methods. So I got 10 of the 12 Macaron lipsticks. The two kind of purpley ones were out of stock, but I'll let you know that as we go along when I'm showing the swatches. I'll start off with like a short review on the lipsticks before I get into the swatches, just to give you my thoughts on them. So I'm wearing number 2 today, which is actually one of my favourites. I think it's gorgeous. It's called Orange Blossom and it's this lovely tangerine colour. So they go on very creamy. They're more emollient than I thought they would be, which is good if you have dry lips, but you have to make sure that your lips are very, very dry before you put them on. You can't have very moisturised lips if you want to have a smooth application. They are almost a little bit too slippy sometimes, but you can definitely work with them, as I'll show you as I'm applying the different swatches in a while and in the application. Now the only thing I'd have negative really to say, apart from maybe that they might be a little bit too creamy for some people to work with if you're not used to working with those kind of lipsticks, is that the packaging can be a little bit, it feels a little bit cheap. It looks nice, like it's nice that you can see the colour and all that, and I love the black and white, but so say as you're actually applying the lipstick, sometimes they'll actually push back down into the packaging, and sometimes they'll literally kind of fall down by themselves. They almost twist down, so they're quite loose. That's not with all of them, it kind of seems to be just a fault with some of them, but I'm hoping that NYX might repackage again if enough people kind of point it out. But besides that, I've very little bad to say about it. I mean, NYX is a great company, they're cruelty free, these are great colours for experimenting with. So lads, I know they're not wearable colours necessarily, but don't take them too seriously. They're supposed to be fun, and that's what you should be looking at them for. Like for instance, I'm going to use them for doing more artistic ombre lips and, you know, just kind of messing about, or if I want to use an interesting colour to highlight the centre maybe of the lips, or perfect for Halloween and more theatrical looks. That was my intention in getting them. Now the price of these are very good as well. I think they were $6. I think they were $6 each. I actually bought them through the NYX Cosmetics website, and a lot of people were unsure about whether NYX, what's the word I'm looking for, deliver internationally. Now they do kind of, they don't actually directly themselves, but they do through myus.com, and you do that through the website. So I did that. You just have to set up an account with myus.com. I chose the free account because I wouldn't be using it very often, and then they send it out for you. Now there is a small charge obviously getting it sent from myus.com, but you know, it's kind of the same as getting it delivered from America anyhow, particularly when you're living in Ireland. So you can get it internationally that way. Now NYX is in Ireland, but so far these aren't in here, so I'm hoping that they do eventually come, because I would love to get those last 2 purple shades at some stage. But I think that's really all I need to say about it. I'll leave any other information on the blog anyhow, and I'll just get into the application. First, I'll show you the 2 kind of different methods I've come to applying the lipsticks, and then I'll just show you the rest of the swatches as we go along. So the first application method would be to apply them solo without any base, and to do this you want to make sure that your lips are dry. Of course, moisturise them beforehand so they're not like chapped or anything like that, but you need to pat them dry before you apply any lipstick. Then apply the lipstick directly from the bullet or however you want to apply it. The trick is to get a good thick covering on, but don't be worried about the outline yet, and then blot. Now I only did this once in this, but really if you could blot a couple of times, the more the better, because you're creating layers and it means that it'll just be a little bit more opaque. So once you've blotted once or twice or whatever, apply another layer, and then once that's on just with the bullet, move on to your brush and use this to smooth over the top and also to perfect the outline. And that's the first method that I use for the ones that aren't too sheer and that aren't too hard to work with. Then for the next method, you want to do the same, make sure the lips are nice and dry, but this time you're going to use a base. You can either use a primer, you could use a primer absolutely if you wanted with both, but this is to use pencils underneath. So again, it'll just create another covering or layer underneath, so it'll help the more sheer colours appear more opaque. This is particularly good with the white one or the light yellow one as well. So I just used a white kohl pencil and applied that all over the lips. You don't have to worry too much about getting the shade perfect, because you can do that with the lipstick. And then once that is on, you will go over with the lipstick like we did before, blot in between layers, and then apply your lipstick again. This is just so that you'll get it as opaque as possible
Once you have your final layer on, once more you go back in with your brush and use this to smooth over the top. It is a little bit tricky working with this white colour in particular, but you can definitely work with it as long as you're careful and work with your brush. And again, use this to perfect the outline, and that's the white one. So now it's time for the swatches of the 10 out of the 12 that I have. So the first one is Rose, which was what you saw in the first application, which is this gorgeous baby pastel pink. It goes on pretty good. It's one of the kind of medium ones. It's not too sheer, not too opaque. Then the next colour is number 2, and this is Orange Blossom, which is this gorgeous tangerine colour. A little bit harder to work with. So the lighter colours like the whites and the yellows are a little bit harder to work with, getting them opaque, but it's still a lovely colour. The next colour is Key Lime, number 3, this gorgeous bright fluorescent green, which again is kind of in between. And then number 4 is Blue Velvet, which is this crazy opaque, lovely blue, but boy did it stain my lips, but it still went on better than some of the other ones.
So another couple of tips that I just kind of thought of there as I was going along with the swatches is, first of all, if you have strong lip colour naturally, you'd be better off using some kind of lip erase. I know MAC used to do one, or does one in the Pro store, and there's a few other brands that do it, which is basically kind of like a concealer that you put over your lips. You wouldn't want to use anything too creamy, because if you were blending this in with it, it might get mixed in and it would muddy down the colour. So maybe something that was a little bit drier, but something that would tone down the lip colour would definitely help you out. Because they are creamy, I'd say as far as the long wearingness of them goes, you get a good about 4 hours out of them, and then you need to top up again. That's assuming you're not smoking or drinking loads or eating anything like greasy or anything like that. So that'll just give you an idea. This particular one here that I just swatched for you, the Blue Velvet, is so opaque. So this is the kind of one you don't really need anything under. I'm more talking about like the white or the number 1 and stuff like that. But it's just to give you a few more tips when you're considering, or if you are considering getting some of the colours. This one's class though. Then the next colour, which is number 5, which I don't have, was one of the purpley ones, and I'll insert the name here because I can't think of it offhand. So that one was out of stock, but I'll just move on to the next one now, which is one of my faves as well.
So next is number 6, and this is called Pistachio, which is a lovely kind of turquoise colour, and this goes on so smooth. So all the blue based ones seem to go on really smooth and opaque. Then number 7 is Citron, which is a yellow. It's a very much lemon kind of yellow colour. Again, this one is tricky. I kind of guessed it would be, so it's hard to get it really opaque. You have to work a little bit harder with it. And number 8 is Earl Gray, another blue based one, which goes on gorgeous and smooth, and I love this one.
Nearly there. My poor lips are suffering a little bit at this stage, but the next lipstick, which is number 9, is another one of those purpley ones, the only 2 that I didn't get. So again, I'll let you know the name here. Yeah, and then I'll just jump on to the next one, which is number 10.
So this is Black Sesame, which is actually a very grey one. Again, goes on lovely and smooth because it is blue based. Can be easily confused though with Earl Grey because it is grey and Earl Grey is more blue, but anyhow. Then this is Coconut, which you saw me applying in the second application. It's the white one, number 11. It is better applied over a base because it is hard to get it lovely and smooth, but it is such a class white. And then of course the black, which was my favourite. It went on so opaque, brilliant black. It's actually one of the best black lipsticks that I've ever used.
So that's all the swatches I have for you today, and thank God, because my poor lips are red raw. Although they're still kind of stained. That feckin' blue colour, what's it called? The Blue Velvet. That's the only one that actually properly stained my lips. None of the rest of them that I noticed did, because this colour was just there afterwards, but it was the strongest blue colour, I suppose. So my lips are kind of that still shade of blue underneath the black even, and that was like 5 lipsticks ago, so I did give them a wipe with the baby wipes 5 times in between. So yeah, that's it, and my teeth look so white with this black. So I need to point out that one, I didn't use any base, like any primer or any like pencil or anything like that under any of them except for the white, which was for the application. The only ones that stained really are that one there, the blue one, maybe a tiny bit from the Pistachio. I wasn't totally sure, but definitely number 4. The ones that I struggled with the most were the white, obviously, because it's like white, and then these guys here, so the yellow one and the orange one, and a little bit the green one, not too bad. The ones that went on the smoothest were all the blue based ones. So that was like number 4, which was the one that stained, and this gorgeous Pistachio colour, which is a blue based green. this guy here, which is Earl Gray, that went on lovely. The actual grey one, which is coconut, no, it's black sesame, went on great. And then black, I'm so surprised to say, not because I don't like black, because I love a good black lipstick as much as the next person, but I'm so surprised to see that Chambord, which is the black one, was the nicest, smoothest one. It's the most opaque, the one that I didn't even have to blot really, even though it's gone on my lips or teeth now. But it gave the best colour payoff. It's the strongest covering and all that kind of stuff. The reason I'm kind of surprised is because I've had a few black lipsticks in the past, and to be honest, most of them are usually a bit crap. So this is really, really good. One thing I would say though is that you have to be aware of the fact that it being black, it's really stark, it has the potential to look the messiest on the lips, so you need to make sure that you spend a bit of time doing the outline, even though I kind of didn't. You might have been able to tell throughout the swatches that I got a bit lazy as they went on, so my lip shape isn't perfect now by any means, because it took ages to do, longer than I thought. But anyhow, that's it. One thing I did forget to say as well is when I bought from the website, I used a coupon code which got me, I think, 15% off the price, or could have been 25%. I think it was 15% anyhow. So I need to look that up because I have it in my blog somewhere, and then I'm going to leave it here and below so you can hopefully avail of that. I'm not sure if it's still working. Fingers crossed it is still working. If it is, you can try it out. But that's it, guys. So I hope this was helpful. Thanks a million for watches. Go to the blog for all the swatches. Thanks. Did I say thanks a million for watches? I meant to say thanks a million for watching. Go to the blog for all the swatches, and you know, I'll show you all the lipstick swatches on my lips, as well as I'm going to swatch them on my hand now, just in a row, so you can see them there as well, or on my arm. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks a million for watching. I'll chat to you really soon.